pills and potions. We're overdosing. I'm angry, but I still love you. Just messing with y'all. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle Season 3, Episode 23, and the name of this episode is Pills and Potions. Man, was this an explosive episode or what, y'all? I mean, kudos to the Triangle family, to the cast and crew, to the writing and production. This was a really great episode, and it really brought a lot of things home. And pretty much, we definitely got an explosion that we knew was coming, but to actually see it unfold was just mind blowing. So, but before I get started, let me put it out there. Subscribe. Subscribe to brtbtv.com. I will have that description I will have that link down in the box. Definitely subscribe now because season 3 is lit, and we got a few more episodes left. Before the end of the season, but y'all need to get on it right now because season 3 is definitely a season to watch, and I'm just blown by. I have literally been blown. Every time an episode has appeared. I mean, hands down. And also subscribe to the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook because you get the latest developments and you get everything Triangle, and it's great. I definitely follow it myself, and definitely subscribe to brtbtv.com and subscribe to Triangle and the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook. Yeah, you can't go wrong, man. I mean, this show is amazing. Now, this episode started off, had me gagged. We first get pretty much an illusion or a dream where Brandon is in bed with Julian. Now, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was immediately disgusted. I was like, no, Brandon, don't tell me you gave up to the pansexual slut puppy. No. And then we kind of get the sequence where he's pretty much saying, that ass was better than I expected. This is Julian talking, and then the next thing you know, you see Jarrell and Jabril bust in and immediately attack them because they catch them in bed together, but then we actually see that it was just an illusion that Brandon was having. So Brandon already knows that if he goes down that line with Julian, it's really going to fuck up his life. So I think he's sane enough, even though he's an addict, he knows crossing that line is like definitely a no-no. And we actually see Julian come in the room, and he's kind of like checking in on Brandon, and he's like being real forceful, and starts to kind of like flirt with him, and Brandon flipped, and he's like, "Don't you ever touch me ever again." And then Julian got nerve getting his feelings and shit. I'm like, oh, the pansexual slut puppy doesn't like rejection, I see, because he's like, oh, so that's how you feel? Then don't ever ask me to help you ever again, and walks out. I'm like, you are such a bitch ass. Like, it's crazy. After that, we really get a really powerful scene between Fallon and Winston. Now, Fallon has brought Winston in, to actually help guide and pretty much guide and nurture, Julian into the business. And she wanted to bring Winston in so he can actually meet her son. And definitely we get a scene between Fallon and Winston, which we definitely know what the real meat is between the two of them, and it's Ashton, because we know that Winston being brought back to Easton is bringing back so many memories, especially with Ashton, because right now he still thinks Ashton's dead. Fallon, on the other hand, has a different memory of Ashton. She remembers Ashton as being, the little slut who was sleeping with her husband and was actually, benefiting off of the money that Clint was stealing from her. So I can see it on both sides, actually, because Fallon still feels like a woman that was jaded. But in all honesty, Fallon, you were more jaded by Clint just as Ashton was, because both of you don't even know who the real man is. Clint is a persona that he created. That's not who he truly is. That's what he created to exist in more of a higher form of society, where probably his true self is pretty much, down in the gutter somewhere. I mean, on some real shit. So, and like Winston is actually making a good argument, saying that look, he manipulated Ashton. He controlled him. He pretty much possessed him, and that's pretty much where Ashton fell into that. But then Fallon's like, well, the thing is, he know that he was a married man, and yet he still pursued it anyway. But then that also brings up questions like, what was Ashton's state of mind at that time, and how did he feel about himself? But needless to say, that gets interrupted once Julian comes in, and Julian literally comes in there because at first Winston excuses himself. Once he leaves, Julian comes in. Julian is immediately disrespectful to Valen, talking out his ass, just saying, just pretty much just talking as if he has no respect for his own mother. Is our business plan back on? And she's like, well, no. He's like, well, then you ain't got nothing to say to me then, and just kind of blew her off. And she's like, first of all, don't disrespect me. I don't know what your problem is or where you got this shit from, but you need to get your shit in order. Then Winston comes in, and then he immediately starts flirting with Winston. I'm like, damn, the pansexual slut puppy has no limits. It's like, this fool doesn't know when to, stay in his own lane. It's like he is so messy that there's not anybody that he won't try to cross or try to screw. And it's like, bro, you just met Winston, you already trying to throw your dick at him. Like, sit the fuck down. Shit is crazy. But needless to say, he also witnesses how he talks to Valen, and he's like, yo, do not talk to my best friend like that. You will show her some respect. And then Julian just gets to the point where he just gets irate and just ups and leaves. Because in his mind, he thinks he got everything figured out, and he thinks that he is the mastermind, when really, Julian is really setting himself up for failure. And in all honesty, with all the shit that he's been doing, I can't wait to see him fall. So after that, Winston goes after him and pretty much checks his ass, and it's like, look, I don't care that I just met you, and I know you're her son, but you're not going to disrespect your mother like that. You will show her some respect. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but that shit is not cool. And he literally told him the truth, that your ego is going to be your greatest downfall. And I was so here for that. I mean, Winston really delivered that, because I'm like, yo, because Julian's ego is out of control. Like, he really thinks he's unstoppable and that he can do no wrong. Next, we actually see Fallon meets with Jabril briefly, and she pretty much says that, can you talk to my son, because my son was very disrespectful to me. I mean, are you teaching him to do this shit? And she can definitely tell that there's something wrong with Jabril, but Jabril is not letting on what's bothering him. But it was cool to kind of see, the brother and sister come together, but you can definitely tell there's guards up on both ends. Next, we actually see that Jabril meets up with Julian from I think it was the previous episode Julian was supposed to have been going on this business meeting with Jabril with the Hamiltons. I think that was their names, or the Hamptons. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But he decides that he's not going to take the meeting, and that he sends Julian to actually handle the meeting himself, and that he got a car coming to take him to New York. Then we have a scene with Brandon and Jabril. Brandon is still spiraling out of control. Jabril is pretty much saying that he wants him to see a specialist. Brandon is in denial that he has a problem. He gets very forceful and then tells him that, well, it's your family and you're the problem and your whole damn family. That's the reason why I'm so screwed up. And, and that pretty much is like a real big cycle of people with addiction. They blame other people for their problems. So we definitely see that's what's going on with Brandon. and it just gets worse within the episode. But let me give a shout out to Dominique Smith, because Dominique Smith, you literally acted your ass off in this episode, and I'm really proud to really see your growth, you know, as far as Brandon's character. Even though I'm really pissed at Brandon's character because Brandon is falling apart, and Brandon is actually one of my favorite characters. So to see Brandon go down this road, it is, you know, heartbreaking. Next, we actually get a scene where Jarrell and Kiko come in, and Julian's there. Julian is flirting with Kiko, and I'm like, damn, your dick has no motherfucking boundaries, you slutty motherfucker. But Kiko is kind of intrigued. She's like, oh, so you're Fallon's son, huh? Well, hi, nice to meet you. I mean, Kiko was like serving it, and Kiko looked great, by the way. You know, Kiko looked stunning. You know, she was definitely doing her thing. And then we actually see, you know, and immediately Julian starts it with Jarrell, and Jarrell's like, look, Julian, I ain't got time for your bitch assness today. You know, go somewhere with that shit. But then later he actually has a conversation with Jarrell, and he pretty much apologizes to Jarrell that, you know, the last time we kind of got into it, you know, I'm sorry to talk about your friend that died. And Jarrell's like, well, he actually wasn't my friend. He was actually Jarrell's best friend. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. And Jarrell was like, there are a lot of things you don't know, Julian. I was like, Jarrell, that's my boy. You know, Jarrell always comes through, because I think Jarrell, out of all of them, is the real level head, you know, in that house. He's the only one in that house that really has it together, you know, because, yeah, he may not have all the money, and yeah, he may not have the quote-unquote big career as all of them have, you know, as far as being a Davenport, but he's very level-headed, he's very smart, and he's definitely wise, and he's definitely sharp. So we definitely see that with Jarrell. So Jarrell called Julian's ass out. That was everything. Next, we get a scene with Kiko and Brandon. Brandon is still being very aggressive with Kiko and talking about what you want. Why the hell you here? And she's like, look, Brandon, you're getting out of control. I don't know if you noticed, but dude, you are really spiraling out of control. You're always angry all the time. You're always snapping. She's like, when are you gonna stop this shit? And then Brandon just again starts attacking her, saying like, you know what, you always running your damn mouth. You don't know your place. That's your problem and all this shit. And then had the nerve to ask him he borrowed some fucking money. Now this rang a bell with Kiko, probably more so with Mason, because he also asked to borrow money from Mason. Now Kiko's like, why the hell you asking me for money? You married to a damn Davenport. You practically got money literally at your fingertips. What the fuck you mean? Why you asking me for money? So he said, fine. If you can't give me no money, then I don't need nothing from you. So won't you get the fuck on? So she ends up leaving, but then she runs into Jabril and tells Jabril, yo, I don't know what's up with your damn husband, but you need to get his ass together. I don't know what the hell's going on, but then why is he asking me for money? And that was the ring of the alarm for Jabril, because he's wondering why is Brandon asking Kiko for money? Like, him and fucking Jabril got a joint account. Like, why are you asking Kiko for money? And it begins, and Jabril immediately goes into investigation mode. We actually see that later on he actually contacts the bank and notices that there's funds that are missing from the joint account. So he rolls over money from his personal account into, you know, the joint account, and he's really starting to put together that something ain't right. So if we actually see that eventually Jabril does confront Brandon with it. Brandon goes irate, goes out of control. You know, Kiko need to learn to mind her own fucking business. That's the reason why nobody tell her shit, because she always runs her mouth, you know, and all of this shit, and like, you know, really just kind of, you know, just went in on Kiko. But then we see later on that when Kiko was actually leaving, Jabril actually goes after her and lets her know that, look, I think something's going on with Brandon, and I really need you, so come back. And actually, I don't think he ran after her. He actually called her, and he told her that, you know, to come back or whatever. You know, we pretty much need to intervene on Brandon, because Brandon seriously has a problem. And Jabril is starting to put everything together, you know, the drugs, you know, the missing money, you know, him asking for money, you know, from people he shouldn't be asking money from. So Jabril is now starting to draw up a theory. Now, this was also a great scene too. Winston is walking around and about, and we see that Ashton, he actually walks past Ashton, but then we see that he finally notices Ashton, and we see that Winston is just overcome with emotion because he now realizes that Ashton is alive. But when he first tries to greet Ashton, Ashton is very resistant to him, saying that Clint told me that you were a good liar. But then he had to explain to him, like, no, Clint is the master of lies. As a matter of fact, you've been nothing but a possession to that man, you know, the whole entire time. And you really have to think about it, that is true, you know, because, you know, we actually know before Ashton got drugged that he was pretty much over Clint, and that's the reason why Clint drugged him, because he can definitely tell that Ashton had developed feelings for Winston, and that is something that Clint wasn't going to allow that shit. But then Winston pretty much told him that, look, we need to get you to a real doctor so you can start getting back your memory. But then again, that's a great thing, but it can also be a double whammy for Winston because, you know, when his memory comes back and he realizes that Winston was a part of some of the things that kind of put him in his situation, both him and Clint, you know, had a hand in shaping his current state, then he may start to resist Winston. But I can honestly say Winston actually showed true love and sincerity to Ashton in a way that Clint didn't. And you can tell that that Ashton, even though he doesn't have his full memory, he felt comfortable leaning onto Winston. And that lets you know right there that he felt the love, that the love was real. That the love wasn't, you know, because like you can definitely tell that even though Clint was saying that he loved him and all of that, we definitely all know that Clint really just wanted to tear the frame out of Ashton's ass. And we can definitely tell he got in his feelings when Ashton didn't give it up. But at least with this scene, we can see that there was a true love and respect that Winston had for Ashton, and Ashton felt comfortable to give in. And we're gonna see where that storyline leads. But I'm so happy Winston is back, y'all. I mean, David K. Price, you're doing your thing, baby boy. I'm so happy that you're back on the show, and the shit's rocking now. So I'm happy about that. Next, we actually see that Jabril talks to Jarrell and lets him know about that Brandon's on drugs, and we're gonna have a family intervention and everything. So this was the scene of scenes right here, because what ends up going down is that Kiko and Jarrell, along with Jabril, are there at the table. Brandon comes in and immediately, you know, Jabril pretty much tells, you know, Jarrell and Kiko not to be extra or whatever, not to, you know, come off as attacking him. We want to show that we love and care and support him. So we have to be, we have to do this in a more calm manner. So Brandon comes in, and Brandon automatically knows something's going on, and Jabril is like, look, we're here because we love and care about you, but Brandon, you really need help. And Brandon immediately starts going off again, like, what you mean I need help? Ain't nothing wrong with me. Everything's good. Like, why is everybody thinking something's wrong with me? Being in denial, you know. And then, like, Jarrell is like, look, man, like, you know, we your family. We care about you. You know, we really want to see you well. And lately, we noticing that, look, you're kind of falling off. You know, we're just trying to be there to support you. And then, you know, but the thing about it, and then he's told him that, look, at the end of the day, man, you got to face the truth about the situation. You got a problem. Then this damn Brandon decided to show his ass and tell everybody off. He pretty much tells Jarrell, your ass wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. Because if it wasn't for me vouching for you, you wouldn't even be living here. And then, you know, Kiko's like, look, Brandon, you are getting what, and Kiko, this pissed Kiko off. Because Kiko was like, first of all, Brandon, you real fucking disrespectful. I'm tired of your shit. Every time you turn around, you just popping off, going off on people. Like, ain't nobody gonna keep taking this shit from you. And then he decides to go in on Kiko's ass and was like, look, the real problem with your ass is that you know how to keep your mouth shut. But you know what? I got something for your ass. You want to talk about some truth? She's like, yeah, let's talk truth. She's like, okay, I got some truth for you. Ronnie's still alive. And she's like, no, she's not. My aunt's dead. What are you talking about? No, she's not. She's alive. Mason told me she was alive, and he told me not to tell you because you got a big-ass fucking mouth. So I chose, so pretty much, yeah, Ronnie's alive, so how's that for your ass? And I'm like, Brandon, you cold-hearted motherfucker. But it's the drugs, though, because we really see that Brandon's, you know, inner person has completely diminished because of his drug addiction. And this really pissed Kiko off because now that she found out that you kept something like this from her, but then also Mason too, so this is going to cause issues between her and Mason later down the line. So she begins to say, like, first of all, Brandon, you want to talk about damn secrets? You want to talk about secrets and lies and shit? You know, I got a secret for you. I'm like, oh shit, you want to tell fucking secrets? Okay, I can tell one for you. First of all, you not only cheated on Jabril with Rob, you know, before you got married, but why is it that you fucking cheated on him with Alex not too long ago? And he's like, you lying. You ain't got no proof. She's like, yes, I do. Because I saw you. You know, I followed you. And I saw you go to his apartment and saw him pull you into his love den. I was like, oh, shit. And you immediately saw Jabril just break the fuck down. And he's like, you literally let me invite this man into this house. This man was all up in my face. And yet this shit happened. Not knowing it really didn't happen, but Brandon really does think that he really did have sex with Alex, because when he woke up, he was naked in Alex's bed, not even realizing he was really asleep. But he don't even remember doing it. But he's like, baby, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't really mean to do this. So this is already bringing back the same type of anger and frustration and betrayal he felt when he slept with Rob. So now Brandon is trying to comfort Jabril. It's like, baby, I love you. You gotta believe me. I need you. Like, I care about you. And then Brandon's like, get the fuck off of me. He's like, I still married your ass after you cheated on me with Rob. And then this is the shit you do? And he's like, get the fuck out. He's like, what? He's like, I said, get the fuck out. And then he's like, I'm not going anywhere. You can't do this. Like, yes, I can. Get the fuck out. And then the next thing you know, fucking Jabril had Brandon choking the shit out of Brandon's ass. And I was like, damn. Yo, it's like, but then again, we've been seeing all season, people been trying to tell Jabril, like, look, you need to pay attention to your husband. You need to focus on what's going on in your house. But he has been so fixated on destroying Mason and so fixated on working with Christian and all these other different things that he's lost track of the fact that your husband literally is falling beneath the cracks, and he was just in his mind thinking that everything is fine. Now he's hit with that reality that your husband, you know, has a drug problem. But now that he feels jaded because he thinks that Brandon cheated on him, he was just like, I'm over it. Fuck this shit. And pretty much he walks out, and, you know, him and Kiko go back, and Brandon and Kiko go back and forth, and she tells Brandon, like, well, fuck this shit. This relationship is over. And then we see that Jarrell is the last person that talked to Brandon, and he said that, look, Brandon, you know, I try to be in your corner, I try to ride with you and everything, but do you realize how badly you just hurt him? Do you know how badly he feels after, one, he took you back after you cheated on him, but then now you're going to do this shit again after he forgave you? Like, you really on your own right now, bruh. So we really see that Brandon has lost everything. Like, he's about to lose his husband and about to lose his friends. The question is there any hope for Brandon? And I surely do hope that Brandon does come back. But then the scene that really touched me was the ending scene where Kiko actually goes after Jabril, and she can definitely tell that Jabril really does love Brandon. And she comes to him and gives her solace and pretty much tells him that, look, don't leave him at his lowest point. He needs you. He needs somebody to be there for him. You know, regardless of the fact that the two of them aren't getting along, she still cares about Brandon also. And she pretty much hugs Jabril. And you can tell Jabril is just really shaken up and he doesn't know how to take it. But then all this stuff just hit him like a ton of bricks. And you know when Jabril gets into this space, something's about to pop off. So, Alex, beware, bitch. Because he's coming for your ass. And I think Alex may also lead him towards Julian as well. So that's going to be interesting on how this is going to play out. But that's my review for this episode, y'all. If y'all missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. But yeah, subscribe to brtbtv.com. Also, subscribe to Triangle Fan Club page on Facebook. But also, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, share this video, and comment on this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Triangle. So until then, everybody, take care.